Like the first century, we're living in a powder keg of a culture. This mob that you're seeing here that's swearing to die before unless they kill Paul, is the same energy that's going to ultimately erupt in the Jewish rebellion in the late 60s AD. So this is, we're here in the 50s AD, and this is going to erupt in about 10, 12 years, and Rome is going to come in and kill them all. It's going to level Jerusalem, destroy the temple, and they're all going to be dead. Right? And Jesus had already told the Christians what the play was. In the Gospels, he said, when you see the armies coming, run. This is the play. Ready? Run. Right? Which is incidentally why probably lots of people were selling all their houses in the beginning of Acts. Real estate was going to crash. Right? They were getting ready to leave. They had widows to take care of, and they were getting ready to leave. Right? We're living in a similar powder keg of a culture, with the primary flammable material being angry young men. The statistics of suicide, crime, drug and alcohol abuse are all led by young men. And it's not even close. It's completely one-sided. And this is because God made men to lead. And he made young men in particular to lead. God made the world for the blessing of young men, a world where ambitious young men might explore and hunt and discover and build and invent and use their energy and strength for the good of the world. That's one of the big takeaways of Genesis 1 and 2. Right? How old was Adam when he was made? This is one of my favorite questions. Right? We don't know. You're like 25? I don't know. Right up there with, did he have a belly button? I know. Oh, man. Remember, he was a young man. He was a young man. Of course, when you have eternal life, you're always a young man. You're never growing old. But he was a young man. He was a day old, but he was mature, physically mature. And he was given a world. He was given a world to conquer, a world to rule well, a world to study and to discover, to invent, and so forth. He was made for that world. Men were made to sacrifice their strength for the good of others. They're made to sacrifice their strength that God has given them to build good things, make good things, for the blessing of others. Adam even pictures this in the creation of Eve. Adam uses his strength, first of all, to do what? To give a rib for Eve. Right? In a perfect world, in a sinless world, Adam still had to sacrifice some of his strength in order to receive the gift of a wife, the glory of a bride. This is what men were made for. They're made to use their strength for good. They're made to bleed for good. They're made to suffer for good. But many of our leaders in the public square and in the church have rejected the goodness of masculine strength. Many have lied and manipulated young men, whether with demands of effeminacy. This is how many young men in so many public schools are on meds. And how many of them are on meds primarily because they have a hard time sitting still. Right? I sat next to a young man yesterday at the Seattle airport who would not stop shaking his legs. They were just vibrating, just going. And it's like sort of halfway annoyed, but I kept on telling myself, no, this is good. This is good. He's just vibrating with energy. That man needs a job. And maybe he has one, I don't know, but he needs hard work. He needs something hard. He needs something a little bit dangerous. He needs something scary. He needs something. And he will do great good. That's what he's made for. And some of you have boys, some of you have a lot of little boys, and they're vibrating, aren't they? Just, they go to sleep, and they're recharging the whole time. And you're like, should I let them sleep? I mean, but you're like, but if they don't sleep, I can't sleep. right? And they just wake and they just go. There's no like gradual, right? They just go. Why? And you need to think to yourself, they were made to build. They were made to fight. They were made to do great good